Welcome back to the Computer Industry News Roundup for the week. Commencing the 13th of June 2022. Just a bit of a highlight on the news articles that's happened in the week. AMD 2022 to 2024 GPU roadmap confirms next-gen RDNA 4. We've got a sort of roadmap between all the GPU chips coming out. RDNA 2 is where we're at right now. So the next one, RDNA 3, is sort of later this year, 2023, and then beyond. RDNA 4 can be 2023. And here's a nice table of a roundup of where everything's at. And a couple of things caught my eye on this one. Obviously, the nanometers is getting smaller still. The Navi 21, the flagship GPU of this generation, is going to be considered a mid-tier GPU of the next generation. So that's quite a significant jump. Just based on the stream processors, the count of how many of those are. Obviously, there'll be other factors like memory, clock speeds, and things like that. But as a very overview opinion, that looks like we're going to be seeing some good jumps in performance there, especially with their flagship and the next gen being 15,000 instead of 5,000. That's got to be a jump, right? That has to be a significant increase in performance. There's a whole other load more slides and things in there. I'm not going to take through each one, but that's the sort of roadmap that we're looking at so far. This coming end of the year to this year and into 2023, and moving on to 2024. Next up, first AMD Radeon RX 7000 GPUs may launch sooner than expected. It seems the RTX 4090 won't be the only graphics card launching in October, as per a new rumor. The first Radeon RX 7000 series GPU will also release at the same month. The rumors come from Greymon55, who claims that in the worst case, the RDNA 3 based Radeon RX 7000 graphics card will be out by mid-November. I might just zoom in on these actually for you guys. There we go. Yeah, so mid-November. Considering AMD is expected to introduce the Ryzen 7000 series about 2 months before that, and that both Intel and Nvidia are also launching a new hardware in Q4 2022, the holiday season is looking quite promising for PC gamers. That it is. I'm going to turn off my webcam so you can see behind. Greymon55 is quite a known, quite a well-respected leaker of information from these sources. So that's promising. AMD engineer brings path tracing to Castle Wolfenstein. A return to Castle Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein is reborn once again as an AMD engineer is adding path trace patch to the 21-year-old game. I have very fond memories of this game. It's one of my all-time favorite games. For me, it was the first game that I ever played that actually had class-based gameplay. So you could choose to be assault, medic, lieutenant, I think it was called, and then an engineer. It was so good fun, and I would easily play it today and still have an absolute blast playing it. Still holds up. Even the graphics aren't too bad, actually. The standard graphics, I mean, this is going to just blow it out of the water even completely again. The engineer said, "I'm so excited to announce my newest project, Wolf PT, a real-time path tracer for Return to Castle Wolfenstein," wrote Dahira, I'm not sure how to pronounce that name, Widgetunga, apologies if that's wrong, a senior graphics R&D engineer at AMD, over on Twitter via Overclock3D. Based on IORTCW with a custom DirectX 12 backend, it's still very early in development, so here's a few comparison shots. Expect more soon. And he did post a few shots, but we don't have them in the article here. Do go out and find that dude on Twitter and have a look at what he's got and keep up to date with that if you're interested in that. Some readers may ask what path tracing is and how it is different from ray tracing. That's a very good question. For this, there are some excellent publications. In short, ray patching is a subset of ray tracing methods, albeit with considerably lower requirements for computing resources. When implemented right, it produces impressive results, but it requires additional work to ensure good quality. So that excites me that they're going to revamp this game and put new life into it graphically, but hopefully keep the gameplay the same. On to the next article. AMD's FSR 2.0 compatible games list now includes 19 titles, which is very good for the DLSS competition. A few days ago, AMD's FSR 2.0 games list only featured 14 games. However, it has recently received 5 new entries, increasing the number of supported games to 19. Unfortunately, only 3 titles support FSR 2.0, but many more should be updated with a feature in the next few months. So we've got a few slides here from game benchmarks. I always tend to look at balanced because chances are that's likely where it's been most optimized. Performance will be taking a hit on quality, and quality will be taking a hit on performance. So I think balanced is usually what most people would try and aim for in terms of gameplay. And the difference is quite good, actually, from 66 frames a second in God of War 4K Ultra to 90. That's quite a jump. And we see that throughout all of these slides, to be honest. There's some significant gains to be had, for sure, by enabling this. And here is a full list of the current lineup of games. The ones that I like there. Well, I'm interested in the Callisto Protocol. That's cool. Hitman 3, Flight Simulator. That is crying out for some optimization like this. The frame rates are pretty poor in that game, so it's good to see that that's going to be implemented there. I noticed down here as well, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, iRacing as well. That might be very good for those simulation guys that like those. Elder Scrolls Online, Sniper Elite 5, all very, very good games to come through with that feature. On to the next article. Nvidia GeForce RTX 40 series launch delay rumors intensify. So June 14 when this was launched, that was a couple of days ago. Nvidia GeForce RTX 40 series ADA Lovelace graphics card launch date adjustments rumor have been bubbling up this week. Video Cards has been talking to its sources regarding multiple unreleased Nvidia GeForce graphics cards. The story goes that Nvidia is reportedly delaying the new cards by various degrees. In brief, it says that the debut of the first GeForce RTX 40 series card may have suffered a 1-month delay, and the purported GeForce GTX 1630 graphics card release is being pushed back due to supply chain issues. So, long story short, here's the new launch dates of what we're expecting so far. So we're going to hit it off with a flagship 4090, maybe in September of this year. And then we got the 4080 in October, and then the 4070 in November. And I have heard as well from another article that the 4060 might be sort of February next year. That's next article. Intel Core i9 13th gen, 13900, Raptor Lake, early CPU sample tested, up to 50% faster than the Core i9 12900. It should be in brackets there, in some tests. Because they always choose the biggest number for the most significant test, and that's the thing they sing and dance about. The 13th gen Intel Raptor Lake CPUs will be combining the new Raptor Cove P cores and Gracemont E cores in an optimized 10nm Intel 7 Plus package. Compared to Intel's Alder Lake CPUs, the Raptor Lake chips will come with a host of improvements, besides just more cores and clock speeds. These include support for up to DDR5 5600 memory at JEDEC standard, 20% larger L3 cache, up to 30 meg unified, 2 times larger L2 cache up to 32 meg, support for AVX, AVX2 on E-cores, no support for AVX 512, just like Alder Lake S. The Raptor Lake CPU sample tested in is an Intel Core i9 13900, which features 8 P cores and 16 E cores for a total of 24 cores and 32 threads. The chip was running at max clock speeds of 3.7 for the P cores and 2.76 for the E cores. That's actually really low from the retail version, which will be offering over 5.5 speeds as mentioned in various leaks. The CPU is equipped with 32 meg of L2 cache and 36 meg of L3 cache for a combined total of 68 megabytes of gaming cache. And here's a nice little map of how the cores are all laid out. Performance is 8 of those and 16 E cores, the background stuff. And there's a comparison chart here, what we've got so far. And certainly the new i9 13900 does smash everything out there at the moment. But I would have liked to have seen where the 5950X comes in. I know it's technically more comparable to the 13900K maybe, but still, it would have been good to see just where we're at there. But bearing in mind, this is actually the non-K. This is a standard locked CPU, so it is impressive. It is pretty impressive. It's a decent boost, but yeah, I mean, from 191 there to 388 on the dry stone, or wet stone, sorry. Pretty good, pretty good. And so in conclusion, the Intel Raptor Lake Core i9 13900 CPU for its ES state does perform really well, but it would be better if we wait for the final performance numbers to show up, since clocks do play a big role in the end. Absolutely. And this was a nice chart that I found. Just like a generations comparison of desktop CPUs for Intel. So Sandy Bridge dating all the way back to 2011, and just the evolution of those things like the thread cores and counts. It's just quite a nice table to look at. That's courtesy of WCCF Tech on that article for doing that table. Very cool as a reference. And it also shows some of the future ones as well, like Meteor Lake in 2023. 2024 is Arrow Lake, Luna Lake 16 gen in 2025, 2026 Nova Lake. So they're really, it just kind of highlights as well how far in advance they are generating and researching and R&D in these chips that we're coming through. Wheels are always turning, and it's pretty cool. Okay, on to the next one. Ethereum hits 18-month low as worries about inflation and the merge grow. Nice little rhyme. The valuation of Ethereum has continued to drop. 18-month lows by Monday, and it's gone even lower since then as well, by the way. Cryptocurrencies aren't faring well as we hit the second week in June. Ethereum has been hit particularly hard. Not only has the broader cryptocurrency market seen a sell-off in the wake of its current US inflation report, but Ethereum developers are also indicating that the difficulty bomb will be delayed. Again, this is leading some worry that the merge will also be delayed. I have been hearing things about the merge as well. We'll get to that in a sec. The misery of ETH holders have been compounded by a report suggesting the difficulty bomb has been kicked further down the road. On Friday, developers decided to disable the difficulty bomb from earlier in the month and will deploy it again at a later date. According to the Bloomberg report, developers found some bugs with the software on the merge on one of the oldest testnets of the network, and thus decided to push back the bomb. When the difficulty bomb does drop, it should help clear out ETH mining operations as the network finally begins transition of ETH proof of work, POW, to proof of stake, POS. No, not pile of. With now regular pushbacks, uncertainties emerged, raising doubt about the things playing out in the way that Ethereum execs and devs have outlined. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin stated the merge could happen this August if the devs didn't uncover any significant issues. Though Buterin also mentioned that the merge could be pushed back to September or October. Tim Baker, who coordinates Ethereum developers, is worried about developer burnout from moving too fast. Baker estimated that there was a 1 to 10% chance the merge won't happen at all this year in an interview with Bloomberg. That's disappointing if it's delayed again. PC DIYers have a love-hate relationship with ETH and GPU-based mining. On the one hand, it lets those with powerful graphics cards profit from otherwise idle computer time, perhaps helping to pay PC hardware bills. On the other hand, colossal GPU mining operations sprung up, stripping consumer outlets of GPUs and encouraging price gouging and scalpers. 2022 may see the end of this era. That's obviously something we're all probably looking forward to, is being able to buy graphics cards again. I would say they're more of a hindrance to gamers than a love. I would say more of a hate rather than a love in terms of PC gamers. But yeah, valid point. If you got one, you might as well mine and sort of recoup some costs. You know, up to you. Next article: Intel and AMD Hertzbleed CPU vulnerability uses boost speed to steal crypto keys. Speaking of crypto, not necessarily cryptocurrency, but cryptographic, what should we say? All manner of things, crypto. Intel and researchers from Austin, UT Austin, UIUC, and UW published papers today outlining the Hertzbleed chip vulnerability that allows side-channel attacks that can steal secret AES cryptographic keys by observing the CPU's boost frequency/power mechanisms. According to external researchers, both Intel and AMD CPUs are impacted, but AMD hasn't issued an advisory yet. Intel says it had found the vulnerability via internal security investigations, but external research teams later disclosed their findings to the company. Like all side-channel attacks, a Hertzbleed-based attack steals data by observing or exploiting a secondary effect of an operation on a system. In this case, by observing the power signature of any given cryptographic workload. As with most workloads, the power signature of a cryptographic workload varies due to the CPU's dynamic boost clock frequency adjustments during the workload. An attacker can convert that power information to timing data, allowing them to steal cryptographic keys. Mind-boggling, isn't it? How did they even come up with that? But okay, so cryptographic implementations that are already hardened against power side channel attacks aren't susceptible to the Hertzbleed vulnerability. The vulnerability impacts all Intel processors and AMD Zen 2 and Zen 3, but it isn't clear if it will impact the upcoming Zen 4 Ryzen 7000. Hertzbleed can be exploited remotely. It doesn't even require physical access. It has only been proven on Intel and AMD silicon. However, it should theoretically apply to almost all modern CPUs. Intel says that it doesn't think this attack is practical outside of a lab environment, particularly because it takes hours to days to steal a cryptographic key. Additionally, an exploit based on this attack would require sophisticated high-resolution power monitoring capabilities. Yeah, okay. So it sounds scary, but it's actually, in real life, it's probably not actually that likely that it's going to happen. Anything bad. Intel's mitigation includes software fixes for any code that is susceptible to enabling a power side channel attack. The company is not deploying firmware fixes. AMD is also not issuing a microcode patch. However, as you can see in the table above, some of the mitigation techniques do have a high impact on performance. This varies by technique and whether or not it can be accomplished in hardware or software, or a combination of both. In some cases, the attack can be thwarted by disabling turbo boost on Intel or precision boost on AMD entirely, but that has a tremendous performance impact. And however, this does not protect against all attacks. So I think it's one of those where it's so unlikely that you wouldn't hamper your performance to protect from it. Yeah, it's not something I'm concerned about personally. Maybe I should be, I don't know, but just based on this information and the lab environment sort of, and the sophisticated high resolution power monitoring capabilities are needed to be able to pull this off as a hack, I don't feel threatened by it, personally. And I'm certainly not going to downgrade my CPU, basically, to try and protect myself from it. It was expensive enough as it was, so I'm not going to downgrade that now. So, yeah, I'm just going to carry on as I am. Okay, next. AMD raised the game bundle redemption period begins. Oh, see, you're right. AMD raised the game bundle redemption period begins. It sounds poorly worded, but that's the name of the bundle. Raise the game bundle. AMD's raise the game bundle. Redemption period begins. Okay. AMD has opened up its Raise the Game Bundle redemptions portal. In addition, AMD has added Forspoken to the games roster, which we previously knew featured Sniper Elite 5 and Saints Row. AMD announced this revived bundling promotion last month, alongside details of the first flurry of games to offer FSR 2.0 support. AMD intends to keep this game's giveaway promotion running, supplying codes to its customers until August 13. And there's a breakdown of the technologies of Forspoken video there. All Radeon RX 6000 series graphics cards qualify for the Raise the Game bundle, as long as the retailer is approved. And here's a table with what you get for what you get. So low-end cards, they will get Saints Row. And mid-tier cards will get the Forspoken added in there as well. And the higher end will get all three, which is pretty cool to get 3 games. Usually you would just get 1 game, wouldn't you? But that's pretty cool. And finally, quantum RAM potentially unlocked with time crystals. And this picture depicts what my mind is like right now. Blown. My mind is blown by the thought of this. I can't even get my head around what it actually is. Quantum computing scares me, genuinely scares me. I've been in the IT industry a long time and I still don't get it. In 2016, 2 separate groups of researchers claimed to have created the first time crystals, originally proposed by Nobel Prize-winning physicist Frank Wilczek in 2012. The first of these groups was helmed by Google engineers in collaboration with researchers from Stanford, Princeton, and other universities. Their results, published in Nature, claimed to have created the exotic phase of matter within a quantum computer. I have no idea what that means. In a true demonstration of convergence, another unrelated team of researchers announced the creation of the world's time crystal inside a diamond that same year. Now, as covered by Interesting Engineering Company, scientists with the Aalto University in Finland have created a system where 2 of these time crystals interacting, cracking the doors ever so slightly towards a RAM-like equivalent for quantum computing. It's just mind-boggling. I mean, look at the diagram for it. What? Time crystal? Sample container? I have no idea. It's gone. I'm not a physicist in the slightest, so that just goes way over my head. But it's exciting at the same time. I'm looking forward to enjoying the fruits of their labor. So it should be good. I'm excited for the next generation of computing that comes from quantum computing. Okay, and that's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching, and have a good weekend, and see you next Friday. Bye-bye.